Guys, I got another one. I think this one is good. It's related to COVID-19. It's by Megan Starr, and she says, "Hey, with COVID-19 worries, Easter coming, and people wondering not just where God is, but if Jesus resurrected, where is he physically, and how do we give hope and encouragement this week?"
Well, where is he physically? If we are to believe the New Testament literature, then he is in heaven right now. He's with the Father, and he's going to come back, and so he's up there. In terms of what was the first thing you said? Sorry.
How to give hope during this week?
Well, when we talk about hope, it's not necessarily for this life. I think we put too much thoughts into this life. We're to think about, set your heart, your minds on the things above, where Christ is seated at the right hand of God. And if we're to die during this, then we're to die. What's the big deal? If I die, I'm fine with that. Now, nobody wants to go through the process of dying, of course. But it's like, well, we have to lose if we die. We've got everything to gain. I mean, I'm ready. So let's not worry. If we are worried about this life so much, maybe we need to examine ourselves and ask, why is that? Or, in the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus said about putting our treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust destroys and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where our treasure is, there will our hearts also be. And if we are so focused on our lives here on earth and what we have, then we're going to need to be thinking about whether we're putting our treasures here on earth. And those things are going to corrupt. They're going to be destroyed, and we're going to be very disappointed.
Yeah, it reminds me of what Paul said in 1 Thessalonians 4, too, Mike, where he said, we don't mourn like people that have no hope. Yeah, it's tragic when we die or when our loved ones die, but we have hope. That's what it's all about, that ultimately we will be resurrected to a new heaven and a new earth. So while everything that goes on here matters, the ultimate hope is not what goes on here in this temporal life, but what goes on beyond it. And this is not just pie in the sky stuff. The reason we're talking about the resurrection, ladies and gentlemen, is because there's great evidence for it. And if the resurrection is true, Christianity is true. If it isn't true, Christianity is false. That's why we're spending all the time. And we just scratched the surface today, Mike. I mean, if they really want to get into this, I mean, this is a tome that can go into some amazing detail. If you want a more popular treatment of it, then you ought to get Mike's book, The Case for the Resurrection of Jesus, that he wrote with Dr. Gary Habermas. And Gary Habermas is well known to probably be the top scholar in the world on the resurrection, and you and he have partnered, and he was your mentor for many years. And I suppose it is, Mike. You guys meet every year, I know, around Labor Day, don't you? You guys get together and
yeah, it's I forgot how many years